and welcome back to another episode of Last Minute Laura. I'm Laura, and today I am going to get started on another dye project. So Alex and I went out into the forest, and along the edge of the forest there was a huge patch of wild black-eyed Susans. So we picked a whole basket. Don't worry, we asked the people who owned the property if we could pick them, and they said yes. But anyway, we picked a whole bunch of the black-eyed Susan flowers, and now I'm going to start a dye bath with them. I've seen some really beautiful greens and browns and a few yellows. I think those were just from the petals though. But I'm gonna get started with the actual dye bath first because I've already got some yarn that I want to add some color to. So let's get started. First things first, I'm going to add all of these blossoms into a big pot. I'm going to cover it with water, and then I'm going to put it on the stove on a low-medium heat for probably about 2 hours. I'm not going to have it simmer, just heat up. My cat is playing in the drawers, or the cupboards down here. Just heat it up enough that the color starts to leach out of the flowers. So I'm going to do that now. So now my workstation is all cleaned up. Alex just brought me a tea. And the the black-eyed Susans are on the other side over here. I don't know if it's in the shot, in a pot. And I'm going to bring you in for a close-up. It took me about 20 minutes to get the kitchen clean and to wash all the dishes. So that's how long the pot's been sitting. But I'm going to bring you over so that you can have a look at what the black-eyed Susans are looking like. Still not at a simmer, about 20-25 minutes in the dye pot. So here they are. Here is the dye pot looking glorious, if I may say so myself. It's definitely taking on like a honey color, the water is, and I think that's coming out of those dark centers. I don't think we're going to be getting much of the yellow out of those petals. I think we're just collecting the color from the centers. I have an idea though that maybe if we pulled all the petals off and did 2 separate dye baths, something different might happen. So maybe we'll do that in the future, but I'm gonna leave these on here for another hour and see where we're at in about half an hour, just to check on how far it is. So I'll show you in half an hour, but I think we're gonna be doing a whole hour more with these. So see you then. Okay, so it's actually the next day now. I'm just gonna apologize because it got dark, and then I turned the heat off and I let it sit overnight. So now I'm going to turn the heat back on. I'm just going to turn it on to a medium-low. I'm going to get it back up to some kind of a hot temperature, not quite a simmer, but I want to get something going. You can see the color now is this beautiful dark honey amber sort of color, and I'm hoping that we'll get even a little bit more. I'm going to top off the water. I've got some rainwater outside I'm just going to top this off with, and then I will show you what it's looking like once we've heated it all the way through. And I'm also going to go get some yarn to begin scouring. So I just went outside and there were a few more blooms, so I just added them to the dye pot, and I'm just going to let them sit in there. You can see there's steam, but no bubbles, and I'm going to keep it there, steam but no bubbles, probably for another hour. And I'm just going to go get my yarn to add to this pot, because now the pot is hot enough to take the yarn. So I'm going to add 1 skein of Briggs & Little Regal wool in washed white to this big pot of soapy hot water, and I'm going to let it sit in there for about half an hour before I rinse the soap out. And then it will be time to pre-mordant the wool, which I am going to do with alum. Okay, so the wool, I did this part off camera, sorry. I washed the wool out of soap, so it is now soap-free. It's been half an hour, it's the same as in every other video, so wash the soap out of the wool. And now I've changed my mind. I'm going to use iron as a pre-mordant because I did a little dye test, and the iron dye test gave such a pretty woodsy green that I think I want to do a pre-mordant in iron, so that's what I'm going to do. So I've got my iron water solution here, and I am going to just, what am I going to do? Okay, first I'm going to remove my yarn from that pot of water that I added it to because I want to dissolve the iron water solution in there first. So I'm just gonna put that in here. And then I'm gonna add about a cup of my iron water solution. And then I'm going to mix that in until it's dissolved, which it pretty much already is. And now I'm gonna put the yarn back in. And this is, oh shoot. Now the yarn is going to sit in there for 45 minutes. Let's say 45 minutes. It should turn a nice sort of orangey color. And then it will be ready to go into the dye bath. I'm gonna show you what the dye bath is looking like now. It's looking pretty cool is basically where we're at. The liquid is very dark, which is cool. And that's it. It's very dark brownish orange. So even though the dye looks like it's going to be a brownish orange, I think that the pre-mordanting with iron is going to make a way cooler color in the end. So see you in about 45 minutes when the yarn is ready to go into the dye bath. Okay, we hit 45 minutes and now I'm going to take this yarn out of the pre-mordant and I am going to rinse it out in the sink just to get any excess iron out of there. And then I'm going to strain the dye pot to get all of the dye stuffs out. Actually, I might just do that first. Rinse out the yarn. Well, so far, brown. But we'll see what happens when we leave it in there. Oops, when we leave it in there for a little while. Hopefully, some green's gonna form. So I'm gonna leave it in there until probably for half an hour, just on the heat, medium, low. And I'll come back to show you what it looks like in half an hour, and then we'll just leave it in the dye bath with no heat for the rest of the day. So see you in half an hour. Okay, it's been about half an hour on the heat, and the color is really amazing now. It is a beautiful woodsy green. Almost like an olive green, really pretty. So I'm just gonna take it off the heat and I'm going to add it to a clear dye bath pot so that you can see how it's looking, and we're gonna leave it there for the rest of the day. And that's it. So it's gonna sit there until probably lunchtime. I might do it in the morning tomorrow. We'll see, but it'll be till tomorrow anyway. I'll show you a close-up so you can see what the yarn looks like though. Okay friends, so I'm not gonna lie, this has been sitting here all weekend. It's actually dry. I had it hanging because I thought I had gotten enough pigment out of it. It's looking beautiful. The color is super dark and super green. The liquid is now kind of slimy and gross, if you can see. Like there's like a sliminess from the plants, so it's kind of gross. I'm going to rinse out the yarn now because the yarn isn't gross, but it sat all weekend long. It sat all day Saturday and all day Sunday. We're in Monday now, and I'm going to wash it out. Ugh, that felt gross on my fingers. I'm going to wash it out, and then I'm going to leave it to hang to dry outside for the rest of the day, and then I will show you what it's looking like finished tomorrow. All right. So that is all washed out now. I'm going to go hang it outside, and the next shot you'll see is our overhead shot of this finished dried yarn. I hope you can see, even before it's dry, that the color is pretty magnificent. It's got no smell, which is good, but it's got a very beautiful, earthy, foresty, mossy green. I'm excited to see how it dries now that it's been rinsed out. Okay friends, so if you'll remember, we started with Briggs & Little Regal Wool in bleached white, and look at what we finished with. Ah! Look how pretty this is. It's like a perfect army green. I already made my label for it, so this one is definitely going up on the shop. But wow, is that ever an amazing color? It's really quite striking. It's like a fully saturated army green. It's almost matte, like a true army green. And wow, it is dark and bright and beautiful. Can you imagine that we got that out of those bright black-eyed Susan flowers? I think all this color probably came from those middle sections though, but still, it's beautiful. I am in love with this color. I love this color for fall. So like I said, I already created the tag because this one's going on my shop. If you love this yarn as much as I do, check out www.lastminutelaura.ca and you'll find lots of different yarns that I hand dyed, just like this one, with plants from around my home. This one, oh gosh, is that ever beautiful? Just a beautifully saturated army green. Doesn't have any smell left, not even the smell of wool, but still. I would love if it could still smell like wool after being dyed. I love that smell, that sheepy, woolly smell. But that's okay. It's still beautiful without the sheepy, woolly smell. I said the website. What else did I miss? Oh yeah, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. The channel is on a growth spurt, so hello to those of you who are new to the channel. I'm Laura. This is the Last Minute Laura channel. If you haven't subscribed though, definitely hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every single day. Yes. Every single day. Monday to Friday, I live stream from 7 a.m. Eastern time until about 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I put out edited videos just like this. Well, not just like this. Sometimes they're like this. They're natural dye videos. Sometimes they're crochet tutorials. Sometimes it's foraging, recipes, whatever I'm in the mood for. Basically anything handmade. So if you're into that sort of thing, definitely subscribe below and don't forget to like the video. It helps the channel out and I really appreciate it to all of you who do like the videos. I see you, so thank you. Anywho friends, that is all that I've got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!